let's say the question asks you to factor in expressions such as 2x take away 10. But before we even move on and showing how to do it, let's kind of, what I want to do is kind of make sense of what it is that we're actually doing and when we could use it. So the way I like to represent it in class is by using markers and erasers. So let's say that I have 6 markers and 4 erasers. And what I want to do is I want to see how many people would I be able to split 6 markers and 4 erasers with equally, so that everybody ends up with the same amount. And so can I split that between 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, 5 people, 6 people, and so on and so forth. So what I've done is went ahead and represented, all right, I went ahead and represented our 6 groups of markers. So I can write 6M. In the blue, I've represented our 4 erasers, or 4 groups of E. And so altogether we see that, well, I have 10 groups, but we can't say that we have 10 markers or 10 erasers because they're not like terms. So what we'll do is let's go ahead and I'll fill in, here's our 6 markers, just to kind of give us a visual. So now what we want to do is we want to figure out, are there a common factor between 6 and 4, meaning is there a number that I can multiply by and I can get either 6 or 4? And so by looking at it, well, we can see that, well, yeah, we can multiply that 2 is a common factor. So which means that what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to begin to split each item, or these 6 markers between 2 people, and then these 4 erasers to 2 people, and then we can see if we can split between 3 or any more. So let's go ahead and we're going to take this one group. So here's our one group. We're going to take this and we're going to move it over here into another group. And then we'll go ahead and keep moving down the line, and all we're doing is we're splitting it into between 2 people, or into 2 groups. So far, all right, I was able to take 6 markers and I could split them equally between 2 people. Well, let's see if now I can do the same thing for our erasers. So we'll go ahead and take this first eraser and give it to this person, and then we'll take this eraser and give it to this person, and we'll just continue until we run out of erasers. And what we want to do is we want to see, does everyone have the same amount? And so now what we see is that here I have a group of 3 markers and 2 erasers, and this person also has the same, which is 3 markers and 2 erasers. And so now what we could do is what we're doing is we're working backwards from the distributive property. So now we're factoring out a common factor. So we can see that now we have 2 groups of 3 markers and 2 erasers. So now we can go back and we can look at the problem, 2 groups of x, and we're going to take away 10. So I'm going to go ahead and first represent our 2 groups, or 2x, so 2 groups of a number. And now what we're going to do is we're going to kind of make sense of what this is actually asking. So I know a lot of times we use minus or subtract, but to really help kind of visualize it or just make sense of it, is we're just going to take away 10. So here's where we need to kind of make sense of. So if I'm taking away 10, well, we can also kind of look at it in terms of maybe like in a real life situation is maybe using a coupon. So let's say I had to buy, so let's let X represent 2 movie tickets that I need to buy. Well, let's say that I was able to save $10 total. So what we can use in the way that I kind of help my students think about it is maybe using a coupon. So if I was able to save a total of $10, how much was I able to save for each ticket? And so what we can see is that maybe for this ticket, for this first one, okay, and then for this second one, this is going to kind of represent the amount that I was able to save. And if we know that together, so this and this part together equaled, saved us $10, well, we can see that now I was able to save $5 on each ticket. And so here we can see that we would have 2 groups of X take away 5. And then one way that we can check our answer is by using the distributive property to make sure that we end up with the same expression that we started with. And so here what we can see is that by using the distributive property, so if I have 2 groups of X take away 5, well, we would have 2 groups of X, and then if in each group I'm going to take away 5, well, in total we're going to end up taking away 10. And so we can see that we end up with the same expression that it asked us to factor.